to predictability. The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, there's a heart. I hear the home run too. Everywhere you look, there's a face.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday evening. It's your boy Pat. Back to you with another segment. Joined to my right, your left, as always, Barry Beers. I think this is a streak for him, 3 days in a row being on the program. He's decided to just go straight into it, just dive right into his drinks, figuratively and literally. He's sitting in a Mai Tai right now. This is it. We are at the Elite Eight, the regional finals for the Waffle House, 2% Milk, Power Rapper the Rapper, and Bowls regions. 4 matchups to go through today. Voting will go down tonight, and that will set the table for the Final Four. There's not much left to be said about these matchups that hasn't already been said in previous rounds. 4 matchups today. Like I said, we got 4 experts. That's a record, I believe. Maybe in our first week we topped something near there. But I'm gonna jump right into it. Not right into it. I did this whole intro. I gotta work on my intros. This is like my 10th probably. Okay. First matchup discussing today: the number 25 seed Sundresses versus the number 49 seed Procrastination. Sundresses coming off a dominant victory over Chicago, Illinois. Procrastination 7-3 victory, I believe, over Hot Cheetos. Today we brought in a different Mac, a second Mac, yet equal in his own regard for sure. Coming to us live from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Mac, take it away.
Thanks, Pat. Very happy to be on the show. Long-time listener, first-time caller, coming to you very much not live at all from Michigan. Here to talk about one of the biggest matchups of the tournament so far, Elite Eight, Procrastination versus Sundresses. I don't know how the seeding was determined. I assume it was random because these two clearly are near the top of the heap, both top contenders. Procrastination, I think this has been said, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It can be good, it can be bad. It's got a lot of appeal on both sides of that. You can be productive or you can just hang out and occupy your time with fun stuff. And then on the other hand, Sundresses, I think we all know they're important. They change the mood of the world in the springtime. And not that spring's great, but it's leading into summer, and summer gets too hot. But when they start coming out, it's good vibes for everybody all around. So I think that the positivity associated with Sundresses is just gonna carry them through this round. So that's my take. Back to you.
Wow, thanks, Mac. Happy to see you outside. And I think you're right. We know what Sundresses do. We know what times they represent. I think all of us right now, being stuck inside, would love to see a sundress floating around out there, as long as they were not within 6 feet of another human being. Next matchup. The number 4 seed Adjectives versus the number 60 seed Sex with the Lights On. We brought back a guest who has been on our first ever episode, bringing back Paul, who's one of the voters. Let's just kick it over to Paul.
Yo, what's up, Keenan? This is Paul coming from you with the lights off, which is not how I like to have sex. So for everybody out there that's thinking about this matchup, just think about this video. How much better would it be if the lights were actually on and you could see my beautiful face? I think Sex with the Lights On takes this in an absolute dominant fashion. One thing to consider, though, on is considered an adjective, so maybe you got that, but I don't know, there's some nerds in the TVB Hall of Fame that like all this wordplay, but you heard it here first. Sex with the Lights On, gonna get the win. See ya.
I think that was Paul. There's obviously no way of telling for sure. I will note that Paul has voted against Adjectives 3 times in a row. I would take his opinion with a little grain of salt. He's not much for words. or pictures, I guess, or video. But he does appear to like sex, and he likes his sex better with the lights on. I believe that's a song. Sex with the lights on? I might have made that up. Could be a song. Ellie Goulding, give me a call. Next matchup. The number 63 seed, our Cinderella here in the studio. You know them, we love them. Meerkats versus the number 26 seed IPAs. IPAs have been a stalwart throughout this tournament. Meerkats just keep scratching and clawing their way through, figuratively and literally. Today we're bringing in the tiebreaker from yesterday, Tom Walsh, who weighed in on Birth Control versus Loose Cannons, to break down this matchup. Tom, take it away.
Hello, I'm here to talk about IPAs going against the Cinderella story, Meerkats. Everyone's doing these videos in disguises or costumes, but best they got are graphic tees, so we're going to work with them. Point number one. Honestly, coming into the tournament, IPAs, I think overrated. Meerkats, obviously underrated. They are, in fact, the Cinderella story. That's what makes this matchup interesting. Point number two. Meerkats. Every matchup they've had so far, all I've heard is how bad their opponent is. What's wrong with their opponent? I haven't heard much to say they are great. And honestly, I don't see many things telling me that they're great. They've kind of become this ironic, funny choice. And I know we want to root for Cinderella stories. But if we want to stay true to the integrity of this great tournament and all of its history and tradition, then we must make the right choice, not necessarily the ironic choice that we all want to push for. Which brings me to my last point. While I think IPAs are overrated, at the end of the day, beer is beer, okay? There's no competition here. I mean, has a meerkat ever made you feel like you couldn't feel pain? Has a meerkat ever given you courage? Have you been a drunk asshole all night, cursed out some people, been able to wake up the next morning and say, oh, I'm sorry, I drank too many meerkats? No, the answer is no. You know why? Because IPAs aren't only the obvious choice here, but they're the right choice. And there we have it. Vegas line just came in. IPAs minus 5.5. Book it. Back to you in the studio, Pat.
I gotta tell you, Tom brought up some incredible points about the quality of opponent that Meerkats has faced leading up to this. And I gotta say, everything about his testimony made me want to grab a beer. Also, special shout out to the Charlotte Hornets locker in the background. Gotta love that. Next, Tom. And our final matchup of the Elite Eight, our final regional final. That's a final sandwich right there. Or I guess it's a regional sandwich because the bread was final. Anyway. The number 59 seed Birth Control versus the number 14 seed A Good Hair Day. Now, this is another interesting expert that we brought in. Lou has voted against Birth Control 3 times in a row, just as Paul has with adjectives. So it'll be interesting to see which take he has here. I'm going to kick it over to Lou, another one of our voters, obviously, who's been on the program before. Lou, please take it away.
Hey, Pat. Happy to be back on the program. Excited to break down this Bulls region final between A Good Hair Day and Birth Control. Some of the viewers at home may be wondering whether a balding man with a new child is really the perfect person to be breaking this down, but you'll soon find out that I really am. I've known for a very long time via my father and both of my grandfathers that I would not be somebody blessed with a great head of hair when I got older. So as such, I've been able to not really care about it while I was younger. I've gone through numerous hairstyles, you know, your classic buzz cut, your shoulder length hair. I've had a mohawk. I've had a mullet. I even had the top of my head shaved with just random tufts around the side for some reason. And also, whatever the hell this is. And I can tell you one thing that I found through all of these hairstyles is that no matter what's going on top of your head, if it's good on that particular day, it feels great. A good hair day is one of the best feelings in the world, and there's really nothing that can bring you down. It gives you confidence to be able to be the person you really want to be that day. And even with my hair as it is these days, a good hair day makes me feel slightly less bald, and that's a nice feeling. On the other side of this matchup is birth control, and while we all know the numerous positives of birth control, there are some holes in its game. It's been playing this tournament with a efficiency rating of 99.7%, and that is great, but that 0.3%, when it goes wrong, it could be an absolute disaster. Not to mention some of the negative things that are not often associated, but definitely there with birth control, including blood clots and other just potential problems hormonally. I think that this matchup really has to go to a good hair day. You can say what you want about birth control's overall net positives, but when you get a day where your hair looks like this, well, there's really nothing better. So I think that we're going to see good hair day move on to the Final Four, and I'm excited to watch these matchups play out. Back to you in the studio.
I mean, just the high quality of editing that went into that video is incredible. I'm going to have to get some tips from Lou after this and pass them along to our production, our graphics team, because whoever he's paying, I will willingly double the salaries that we pay the graphics department now that we have. It's so hard to find good help these days. And fun fact, Lou and I actually had mullets at the same time. If I learn how to do that editing before this video posts, I'm going to point to it right there or there. Somewhere around this general area, you may see a mullet. That's it. It's a fast episode. It's bittersweet getting down to the end. See who's most deserving of the championship, really. Final Four. Could be coming to you live Saturday on the Drunk Fest. I got to see how the timing works out. I got a lot going on. Who am I kidding? All right. Peace out. See you guys on the next one.